And we're back on Second Street talking about artificial intelligence in healthcare. Zayna, before the break, we were talking about I asked the question, do we need this technology because we have a shortage of workers and we've got increased demand with an aging population? Would you mind just sort of finishing your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, we absolutely need it. And many kind of in the policy arena are saying it'll be unethical if we don't embrace it. And it's for exactly the reason.
Mm.
We spend $330 billion, 12% of our GDP on healthcare. The demand for healthcare far exceeds the supply. The supply is fixed, it's constrained, and it's mostly labor. 85% labor. I think we're more labor intensive than any other sector in Canada, and we don't have enough labor to meet the demand. And so it's unethical, I think, if we don't let the machines do a lot more of what the labor doesn't need to do. But that's kind of the minimum bar to meet the needs. That is our contract with society, with Canadians, for all the taxes we pay. The power to me, what gets me excited is the partnership to do things humans can't do, to make healthcare better, not just get it accessible to everybody at a crappy quality, but to make it better. And that's what I get excited about.
So what would be one of those examples, Zayna, of where you think it could get better compared with where we're at right now?
I mean, Walter was hinting at it. One area for sure where, again, machines, they're fast, they're accurate, but they're stupid. We're slow, we're inaccurate, but we're brilliant. So when we partner and let the machines do the high volume stuff that either no human can do because of time or can do because of physiology, right? The beyond the threshold of human perception, human capacity to grind 5 million bits of data, but then we add and overlay our ability to connect, cognitive function with interpretive function, seeing the whole patient. Wow, that's a powerful combination, right? So we see that, of course, in things that are pretty straightforward, like diagnosing for images, for stuff based on basic data inputs. You can diagnose like mental health issues, etc. And then the human seeing the whole story. Oh, they don't have good drinking water. Oh, they had trauma in their life. Maybe that's, you know what I mean? It's those two together is becoming very powerful.
Interesting. It's always fascinating to think about the future in the sector. Walter, I want to ask you about, let's look at primary care. I mean, that's one of the ways that Canadians have the most interaction with the healthcare system. They see the doctor regularly if they have a problem, maybe for an annual checkup. What do you see as sort of the potential for artificial intelligence to help that experience that Canadians might have at the primary care level?
A great question. And I just want to pick up on what Zayna said. AI and healthcare providers is a cognitive, collaborative endeavor. That's what we need to get to. And I fully support what Zayna's teasing out there. I think in a few areas, we're now in the world of agentic AI, where not only can AI follow a set of rules, but it can find patterns that humans cannot. Because the deep learning and machine learning can see things that we can't as humans. So in primary care, for example, we can see, and I just was writing an article about this, for the fact where your doctor sits down and is planning for your physical and says, okay, we're going to order blood work and we're going to order your analysis. But agentic AI within the electronic health record also sees that, oh, you've turned 55, there's a history of prostate cancer in your family. It puts into the suggestion into the system, adds to the lab requisition a PSA test. And where we could see this in the future, if our wearables are connected to what I call a living EHR, you have this passive supply of data, your heart rate, your blood pressure, a variety of other things. There may be examples where you haven't slept well for the last 2 weeks. Your resting heart rate is up 5 or 8 beats per minute. And then when you get to the physical, your annual physical with your doctor's going to say, hey, Colin, do you have some stressors in your life? Has your diet been good? Are there family challenges? Let's dig into this a little deeper. And the last thing I'd love to point out in this is that you also mentioned in your clinical notes 3 years ago or 5 years ago, if you have to fast for your blood work, I need to get to the lab at 7:45 because I need a coffee and I need a nice toasted Western sandwich after that. The AI may know that, the agentic AI in your system, book you at the local lab, which is 10 minutes away from you, has already checked your work schedule and put a note in it so you have your blood work a week from now and your physical 2 weeks from now. Imagine that all happening in the background. That would be the power of agentic AI in primary care and takes the load off you, takes the load off your doctor, and makes your visit, that precious time you spend with your primary care provider, really powerful. And this face-to-face as the things that we can do better than machines. make sure that we have that human connection. And a lot of people, Eric Topol, Jan Bigger, some big names in healthcare, they say AI in healthcare can make it more human. The machines and the algorithms can make it more human. That is the promise of where we need to get to, and get to quickly. And I think it's going to happen.
Oh, it's fascinating to think about, and it's interesting to think about how it can take into account a lot of these points that often get forgotten in that healthcare process.